Now I know that we are live. Yes, it's okay. This meeting is being live streamed, and let me bring up so I can keep people in here. And I see Tim showing up. Hello, Tim. Lovely to have you guys here. And oh, this over here. It's out of the way. And then we can get this party started. All right. Well, hello, everybody. What day is today? Oh, today's July 1st. So welcome to the 1st of July. Today, Cesar and I are just going to tag team a little bit. We kind of did last week. So I said if he wanted to be a part of it today, that he was more than welcome. And most of our team has taken a holiday the last week and a half or so. So next week and a half is mine and Cesar's little vacation. So we get to have a little time just to relax, do whatever, those kind of things. Hey, Tim. He said, hey, gang. Okay, so first things first, let me just get this little bugger out of the way and let's talk about, what we do here at Responsible Day Trading. Guys, we are not investment advisors, we're not brokers. We're simply here telling you what we're seeing as we are going through this. So, this is purely educational. We want you to understand that, our job is to help you see the market a little bit more clearly, but we don't trade for you and we don't tell you when to take trades. So that is something that you have to make the decision on your own. And so that's just gonna got that little bit out of the way. Let's go ahead and look at the website, which we are doing a little updating on. So if you are new here, guys, and you want to start learning, now we have the RDT core part 1. So we have a part 1 and a part 2. Part 2, we should have complete. Well, we're just basically, Cesar and I are just doing a run through of it to make sure everything is in order, but it is complete. So we should be able to have that out, I would say, by the end of this week or so. Sound like I don't think I can hear you at all, Cesar.
If we put all our effort there, yes, we can do it.
Yeah. So, even though we're going to have our vacation, we're going to be here just a little bit at the end of the week. So we're till the end of the week, just uploading basically. And you know, spending our time doing what we want after that. Um, but so let's talk a little bit about what we have here, guys. I do have the area up here. Where is it? There we go, the live class schedule. So if you're curious about what we have going on here, well, this is really just our schedule of what we've got going on here. We do have the schedule for who is running the live market analysis. Davis is going to do one in English next week, and then the following week he's going to do one in Spanish. And then we're back with Dan, who has been just out having the time of his life on vacation. Oh, to
Yeah,
be in my
same here.
20s again and no, no responsibilities. So, um, but guys, we are doing another trader meetup July 18th. There is an Eventbrite link. We are going to be doing that at Wakefield Crowbar in Houston. Y'all, it was so much fun last week. Let me see if I can bring up just a few pictures or last
I
time.
don't know if you saw on Discord, but you're gonna have a special guest that day.
Uh, oh, is it that special guest, Tim?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I didn't see it on Discord, but he has been keeping me updated a little bit. So I had to let him know when we were going to actually be doing it. So give me just a second. I'm going to switch over to day trading.
Tim is asking him if he needs to sign up. I think you
Oh,
can just
no.
show up or
Honestly, no one actually needs to sign up by that link. That link is just to show us how many people are coming because currently it is free. We are thinking about putting something like a $5 charge on it eventually, but we're going to be doing some other, like some raffles and things like that. And if it is as big as we think it might be, this last time was we doubled from the time before. So we may double that again. And if that happens, we want to, just be able to keep everything. We want to be able to keep doing it basically. Scrolling down on our Facebook because, oh, here's one of the pictures right here. So this was last event, which was really, really awesome. There were only a few people who had been there second and third time, but everybody's bringing friends, and there was just more and more people showing up to it. So we went from like 5 to 17 to 30. So if we double again, we may have 60 people there. And all I can say is it's really awesome to see everybody just being able to have a place to meet other traders and talk a little bit about what their experience has been because no one trades the same thing that comes there. We're all trading something a little bit different. There are some people trading futures. There are brand new traders. There are people who've been in it for quite a long time. There's stock traders. There's Forex. I mean, just you name it. And it's just been really awesome to give everybody a space to kind of meet other people in the industry and just break bread together.
It's
So
pretty cool when we I mean the times that I've been there, it's pretty
yeah.
cool to meet new people and have the same topic in common and exchange ideas and learn from each other because there's been times where you start talking with new traders. I mean, no, with traders that you just met and they share their experiences and how they look at the market and it's been
Mhm.
pretty awesome to be able to learn from them and reinforce what you already know from your strategy
Yes.
and it is pretty it is a pretty good experience.
Yeah. Oh, Davis is showing up. Oh, let me go ahead and make you co-host too in case you need to share anything. Yes. Okay. But yeah, so just letting you guys know about the next event. Tim, I know you're gonna make it out to this one, which we're really excited about having you out here. Ange and I will be picking you up from the airport. Cesar, I know that you aren't sure, but maybe we can see if August, maybe you can come
Ho-
out to that one.
Hopefully, I mean, I'm still working on my papers, so
Yeah.
who knows.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do. But either way it goes, we're going to be having more in the future. So it'll be really cool. We're going to have food from Updog there. And I think we're actually going to have
What's
one
up,
of
doc?
oh, what's up, dog? That's right. Hello, Davis and Dara. Welcome to the class. Love having you here. And if you guys are in on the YouTube channel, you can feel free to write in, say hello, whatever you like. Um, but Updog is going to be like making one of everything on the menu, and we actually are going to have some we're going to have somebody there filming a little bit of stuff so we can get some really good footage of everybody hanging out. But let's go ahead and move on. So if you can make it, come out to the meet and greet. Like I said, it's at Wakefield Crowbar. We can just well, it says event can't be reached. We'll have to look at that in just a little bit and see why not. And maybe an old link on there is why. Guys, you can also get all the information by going to our Discord. So if you haven't joined our Discord, head on over there. If you want to speak to anybody about anything you've seen or heard here, go ahead and head over here to click on there. But let's go ahead and get started. So let's go look at the news. And guys, it is moving a little slow today. We did have a nice big, I thought it was just my charts, nice big movement. It held up for a while and then popped open. But that's pretty much all the excitement today. Now, there was some news this morning, which may have gotten the market moving a little. I wasn't really paying attention at that time. It doesn't look like,
I think
yeah,
it
it
did.
had a
Yeah,
little bit
it
of a move to the downside. Looking at
yes.
my charts down here in
Looking.
front of me. So then we have news tomorrow. So at 8:30, so right as the market opens, Powell speaks, right? So we all know when Powell speaks, the market tends to put a little boogie in it, right? So we may see the market moving a little bit in the morning because right after that, 30 minutes later, we've got some more news here. Wednesday. So we're gonna have a holiday. So it's gonna be early close at 1. So early close at 1 on Wednesday for the 3rd of July. But it does look like we've got a lot going on that day. So we have FOMC. I guess right as FOMC comes out, it's closing. So that'll be interesting to see what it looks like when it opens on Friday. So says it's an early close. So we do have a lot of news early. So pre-market, this is for an hour before market opens. This is 15 minutes after market opens. These are all set in central time, half an hour to an hour after the market opens. So Wednesday may be a little bit of a mover and shaker, but I'm not really expecting it because, guys, it's 4th of July holiday week. A lot of people have taken some time off. It's the summer. It's already been moving a little bit slowly, so it may not have a lot of boogie in it. Friday, it's mostly pre-market, and then we have news at 10. I'm just going to tell you guys, I did not put my dog in another room this time. So if she starts to bark, I'm just going to mute myself so it doesn't blow your eardrums out. So she loves to just yell for the FedEx or Amazon guy to just come and love her. Okay, so let's see what's going on with the market. All right, so let's first start off with our daily chart. I like to start from my biggest chart, work my way down. Oh, my lawn people are here, so it may may get a little noisy. Um, Give me just 1 second. Can you take the cursor and just talk about this for a second? I'm going to put the dog away because she will start barking as soon as the lawn people get moving. If you would just talk a little bit about the daily chart. I mean, really, what I'm seeing, just so you know, guys, what I see here is the pulling down to the bottom Bollinger Band. We haven't crossed it yet. We're technically sitting at it. We'd want to see a nice big fat break at the bottom Bollinger Band, something like this, if we're really going to expect it to go down. But we are not seeing that currently. It's just barely sitting there. We don't really have any divergence between these two pivots coming up here. We're getting closer and closer to reaching the high that happened here. So I don't see a lot of reasons for this to really pull back deeply unless I'm breaking this bottom Bollinger Band. So for me, I'm looking for at least another pullback and maybe up towards this top Bollinger Band and roll down, or just see this BB drop. Otherwise, just kind of stuck between these areas. So there's a daily chart. I'll let you take over for the 28,657. Just give me about 2 minutes and let me turn my camera off really quick. And
Yeah.
give me 2 minutes to go put her up home. Let me take the mouse back for just one moment.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Be cool if I knew what I was doing here. Hold on.
All right. On the 28,657, we can see that we have been struggling to break and to take any direction. We can see these two areas on the resistance. So this is telling us like uh, this is a very important area where the price is not being able to cross. So we can see also this area of support where previously was a resistance. So we can see that the price is going to be moving in this range. And you can see also on the EMAs, they are very flat and they are very um, close one to the other. So, like Lindsay said, this week it potentially is going to be a very slow week because summer started. Uh, Most of the traders are leaving to for vacation, so the volume is going to be low. It is expected like every year. So right now, what we can expect is now that the price bounced a lot of times in this uh, support area, potentially we can be moving around this area if we move um, to the up. But if it does, you're gonna have to be very, very patient because you can see how it's struggling to break this EMA and continue to the upside. Also, the MACDs are reaching the zero line. So these two indicators are telling us that potentially we are getting into an area of resistance and changing their way again to the bottom of this area. So potentially we are looking at an area for a bounce and move down to keep moving around this area that we've been moving since June 2021. So it's been a couple of weeks since we've been moving in this area. Not a lot of runs on this particular chart. So if you are not really feeling comfortable taking any trade, you should be um, sitting on your hands, like Lindsay says, and just waiting until the market gives us enough reason to get into there, uh, get in a position. Because, yeah, you can see how flat these EMAs are. So we are not really going anywhere. And if you can see here on the 28,000 chart, you can imagine how it's looking on the smaller charts where the crossovers are more frequent. Okay, so if we move, are you back?
I am, but I couldn't unmute myself because you
Okay.
had it, so it's okay. I'm back. Hold on. Give me just one moment.
I don't
Sometimes
know
I
if you
feel
want to say a little bit more about the 28 chart or if you want to
I
go
didn't
to
hear what
the
you're saying, but I did hear you talk about being stuck between these areas, and that is absolutely what's going on, right? We've had a little bit of divergence to the downside through these areas, but we're also getting some divergence to the upside through these areas. So, we've got the price leading lower, MACD's leading higher. And back here, we had, well, no, yeah, I guess there's divergence because it's right about the same high right here. So it's
Mhm.
an equal pivot with that leading lower. Um, so, and we've really just been trapped between these areas for, weeks. And so really it's been a little tough because the bars are long. It looks inconsistent, but now it's looking like it's really trying to push back up. Is it going to? I'm not sure. We're still in the midst of these areas. It gave us a really good look like it was going to break out to the upside here. And it's like, oh, we're finally through this area. Then we reached the high and just pulled back down. But in reality, it hasn't been a real strong push up that area. It's a decent push, don't get me wrong. MACDs are outside the Bollinger Bands. We were making lower pivots here, but we were just kind of crawling, having that grindy move to the downside. And then that grindy move led to a divergence that looks like it's trying to give a strong move back to the upside. So technically, while we did see the strength as we were moving up here, and this is coming off of just like creating some new um, lessons for us, talking about the signs of struggle and strength. So it really just is still fresh in my mind thinking about this. We're struggling when we got up here and we saw this nice sharp move, but then we had a really strong reaction initially to it. Once we got down to the EMAs, it was starting to get weaker. We did technically change the direction to the downside when we got back here, but we've really, really struggled to make a new low. We just kind of had that breakout here to the downside, breakout here to the upside. Now, that is a, 80 point distance between the top and the bottom there. So are there opportunities in between it? Absolutely. We don't take, most of us don't trade the 28,657 because we are looking to have something that has much lower risk on it. which you won't be able to do if you're trading the 28,657. So we use it a little bit more for guidance than anything. But yeah, as he was saying, we're going above and below and above and below. And we really looked like we were going to break out here. And we really started to look like we were going to break out here. The MACDs do have a little bit of strength to them to the upside. And we're reaching that zero line. So are we going to do that bit of an overrun of the zero line? Kind of like in here where we overran the zero line and pulled back. My anticipations in the overall, like I said, until that MACD really pops outside on the daily chart, is to still see the majority of the stronger moves going to the upside. So if we're looking at the 28,657, I'm sorry, the 10,946, 1597, 233. It has been, let's see, the day started right here. Oh, no, even later. Yeah, right here. Wow, there has not been a lot going on. It did have nice, good looks for the moves to the downside as the EMAs were opened up and it pulled back into these areas. So it had really good looks for the move to the downside when we had this really weak pullback and the pullback here. But, you would still be anticipating pulling down to this area and possibly holding and went a little bit further. Even nice another pullback for looking for more continuation to the downside. Now, these look like nice pullbacks on the 10,946, but let's just put a line here and look what it looks like on the, go here. Let's go here so we can see what it looks like on the 1597. Okay, yeah, those look pretty good. Not here immediately. Obviously, you've still got strength going up to the upside. The price looks like it's trying to pull away. And then you get this little pullback and the breakdown. And so the BBs break down and the price bars break down there too. But I wasn't around at that time. I'm guessing it moved pretty quickly, which makes it really hard to be something that you actually have the ability to grab unless you've got something like the 233 and you're looking at these little bars that are happening right here as this is rolling over right before it takes off to get that initial move or get that last move. Or you'd have to be taking these little pullbacks, and these little pullbacks would be pretty difficult to take because they don't pull up into any of the EMAs. They've got a lot of distance to pull back to the area the original area. So you'd have to be looking right in here as it rolls over. So just a little bit after, while it's starting to roll over to the downside here, is the first one that I'm looking at. The second one happening in here would have been just a little bit difficult. You have this little BB that pulls back here. All right, and then I would be looking probably right in this area for my first entry, probably moving my risk behind it in here, not staying in as it pulls all the way back, but that is another opportunity. So when we're looking at these bigger charts, those are a little bit more difficult to take. So there's a strong push up, strong push down. This bar alone is what, like 4 points almost. So you can't really grab that bar and still have a really great risk to reward ratio. Your risk is going to be in the wrong place. You're getting in somewhere that it could easily pull back to and stop you out. So you're looking for these other little pullbacks that happen in here in order to have a good place to have your risk behind the EMAs and be able to follow along. Now, when we see a sharp move that happens like this to the downside, and you start to get those really white BBs, you start to see the snapback potential happening here. You're sitting at the bottom Bollinger Band here. To me, that would be like a really clear indication that it's time to think about taking an exit of that trade. You do have a couple more opportunities as it pulls back in here, but it's probably getting a little more difficult, especially as we're starting to see the signs of struggle as this is moving to the downside. Now,
Yeah,
what
and
do I mean?
also
Go ahead.
if I can add just a little comment, you
Sure.
can start looking at potential for divergence, especially on the
Yes.
1597. when the
Yes.
price is reaching the previous pivot, and you can see a clear distance from the MACDs. Uh, that
Even back
combined
in
with
here and back in here, you're starting to see those potentials, those
right,
divergence potentials. Yeah. Which
and
are
what you were
actually,
seeing,
divergences because it does pull back. Uh, excuse me. We just still had strength behind it to push it down a little bit further and create more divergences.
right, and that combined with what you were saying on the 233, I mean, the white BB is starting to indicate that
Down here.
probably we are, yeah, running out of
Yeah.
steam and potentially changing direction.
Yes.
So all of that information is what we have to be aware of
Hmm.
and to be on the lookout if we are potentially reaching an area where we're going to shift direction um, and back to the EMAs because if you look at the line
You
on
can
the
grab the cursor.
10946 and okay, if you look at this line on the 1597 and the 10946, you can see the distance from the price to the EMA. So the price is going to reach to the EMA eventually, and I mean, all of this information combined, like potential for divergence, wide BBs, a distance from the EMA. So it is a lot of signs that is telling us
Trouble.
probably, yeah, we're going to move back
Yeah.
to the EMAs, and that's what happened. And right now, we are at the EMA. We are potentially uh, looking for more up on the 10946,
Yeah, we gotta
but
move those forward, yeah, to be able to see.
yeah, and potentially on the 1597 potentially also we're looking for more up because price above EMAs, MACDs above zero line.
Yeah.
Uh, we have to consider this potential for divergence, but overall, the the scenario that we have right now is more potentially for more up, right?
Yeah. The only thing, so yes, absolutely think you're right. The only thing is like we had this strong big push up and we didn't have this BB follow through. So it does look like it's maybe trying to pull back either into this EMA as it comes up or maybe start to create a push to the downside, maybe give us some more divergence to move it back up at that point. But I did want to come back to this really quick because I just wanted to talk about a little bit more about like struggle and strength, right? And what we're seeing is in this move down, let me see if I can close this up more. Yes. In this move down, we start off seeing strong moves and then we start seeing these potentials for divergence, but we still see the strength to the downside by seeing the EMAs that are open down here. EMAs are still trying to open up in this area. We still have the MACDs in favor, but we're starting to create those divergences, like you said, and it's getting harder and harder for even the 233 to start making these deeper lower pivots and coming down to their more extreme pivot areas. They're just getting higher and higher there. And that is starting to show that, oh, it's struggling to really go down more from this point, right? It doesn't mean that it won't go down, just more from this point. And just like Cesar said, at that point, we'd be looking for reasons to see it snap back up into the area of the EMAs. And then if we're looking, at our bigger tick chart, once it gets to these EMAs, we start to see that the MACDs are still showing strength to the upside, which tells us more opportunity to the upside. Now, I tell you, I did sit down and look at it for a few minutes right around here, and I actually thought my um, internet went out because it just came to a complete standstill here for a moment. And I noticed my computer needed to be updated. So I just went ahead and closed everything out and updated my computer. And when I came back, that big bar was still there. So
I
I was
think we
like,
all have that bar.
yeah, well, yes, I realized that after resetting my computer and everything. But that was, that's something. Was it looking like it was going to move to the upside? Yes, from that point, it did still look like it was going to move to the upside. Could you have even predicted that huge giant pop to the upside like that one big bar? Probably not, because that's not typical of what we would normally see. But when we do see pullaways from the areas kind of like that, we tend to see what I like to, it's like the reaction and the opposite and equal reaction is what we tend to see a lot of times. It's a pullback to kind of match that almost. And so this with the hard close up and bit of a flag reversal bar here and pulling back, it has already pulled back into the area of those EMAs on the 10946, which are still to the downside. We haven't shifted the direction back up here. So we still see reasons for this to pull back. Now, while you and I were talking about the meet and greet and such, we did have a couple of opportunities that presented themselves right in here as it pulled back into the areas and continued up because we still had strong EMAs up. We started to see it turn. We started to see those MACDs pick up the pace here. We saw the blue BB start to pick up to the outside at that point. But I would still be very cautious. What was our signal that if we were in these trades to start getting out? Well, what would you say, Cesar?
I'm sorry, I missed what you were saying. I was
Tim, what
thinking
you
another
got? I'm
thing.
gonna see if you got anything now. I mean, what we start seeing is things happening on the 233, things happening on the 1597, and we'll go into what those things are. I'm gonna see if anybody's gonna write. Oh, well, Tim is working and watching at the same time. That's fine. All right, fine. I'll go ahead and just I'll give the answers. But no, what we see here, we see divergence happening between these pivots, right? We see a lot of distance that has happened from the EMAs, particularly on the fifth. Was that mine that just a connection lost?
Yeah, I think it was yours.
Yeah, okay. Well, Um, so we also not just looking at the 1597, but as this is still moving to the upside, the 233 says, okay, pay attention to the fact that we have divergence. Pay attention to the fact that we have distance to the EMAs. What are we paying attention to? Look at these MACDs that could not make a new high right as we're getting here, and it's really trying to show some strength to the upside. Those break that bottom Bollinger Band and start to say, well, if you're in this move to the upside, you may want to consider taking an exit or adjusting your stop up closer. And why is that? Because it has the ability to pull back all the way back into these EMAs. We broke through those, and then we started seeing the pullback for a little bit of opportunities for the move to the downside. It's trying to show moves to the downside. I'd really want to see it still break this area of the bottom Bollinger Band, but we still have what looks like strong EMAs to the upside on the 1597. Now, something that would keep you out of taking like or some. So when you're inside of the EMAs start to get weak, right? And being inside of them does start to show that weakness so that smaller EMA starts to roll over and push a little bit more in that direction. And it starts to become another area that we can anticipate a bounce as it pulls back into it. So we want to see the kind of strength that we're looking at. And that's the entire time we're trading, we're looking at what's showing us the struggle, what's showing us the strength. Where's the strength? Where's the struggle? And we'll see something like the pullbacks that happen here without crossing that bottom Bollinger Band, a little bit of area to snap back to the upside, reversal bars happening here, not crossing that bottom Bollinger Band. So is this going to give us enough strength to pull outside of these EMAs and start getting back above this area right here? It's got some work to do to get there, right? Because in order to do that and keep that direction and that momentum to the upside, we want to get back above this Bollinger Band. We want to get back above this EMA. So it's starting to try and show with the weakness of getting inside of these EMAs here, it's trying to show us that we have potential for it to push down. But if we look at everything else, what's right in the way? Small EMA here. Do we have the potential to break through there? Not a lot of strength here at the bottom Bollinger Band, or not a lot of strength in the BBs to push through. It's trying to create a reversal bar. So maybe we'll see a little bit more of a further pullback and then push down if it's going to. Or we could see it, these areas hold and push to the upside. But
Yeah, probably the
uh,
price is going to hold on that area.
right here.
Yeah, right here,
Yeah.
what we are seeing on the 1597 and
Yes.
10946, because uh, we're still technically with the EMAs showing more down, but
Yes.
the MACDs are already above the zero line. So we are not clear on this
Yes.
particular chart. So right
I
now
mean,
on
it didn't
the
shift the direction up because we didn't break away from the EMA to the upside from for the price bar.
yeah,
But so we don't have all of the criteria to shift it, but it's really looking like it's trying to,
yes,
but it's got a lot
potentially
of
this.
work to.
Yeah, on the 1597 also is the now the EMA is telling us the opposite. It's telling us more up
Yeah.
because we're above, but we have this overrun of the zero line. So uh, I think this is uh, an area for a slowdown, and the price is going to decide where to go uh, right after the accumulation in this area right here.
Yeah.
So I mean, the 10946 is telling us, uh, well, the EMAs are telling us more down, the MACDs are
Yeah.
telling us more up,
Like the
the
immediate looks like it's really
233,
trying to go down more, but it could very easily use that area of support on the 10946, use the area of support
right?
on 1597 and pull up, maybe even pull up a little bit higher, make more of a shoulder head shoulder situation. But all I know is
Yeah,
the closer that we're getting into the holiday, the Fourth of July holiday, the slower these charts are going to move. I
yeah,
mean, you can even see like, the orders, it's just not, not even seeing anything in the hundreds. Oh, there was 101. So it's just like things are moving. It almost feels like after hours, whenever you have a holiday. So,
yeah. That's something that I was saying when you were out of the stream.
mhm.
Uh, the biggest investors are probably already on summer break, so we're not going to be looking a lot of volume on the market
Right.
for probably a couple of weeks. So
Hey
if
guys,
you are
also we're not market movers, like we are
no, we're
really picking
not.
up the crumbs along the way, and there's plenty of
Yeah,
crumbs to feed, an entire neighborhood and more. But so we're just picking up the crumbs along the way. And if you don't have those major movers kind of dropping the crumbs, it kind of slows down and gives a little less to pick up along the way. But the good thing is that doesn't last forever. It's just during holidays and such. So
yeah. If you guys want to be looking at the market, just be very patient because it's going to move.
yes.
It's going to be moving like we're looking at right now,
Like
essentially,
molasses. I know you wanted to
like
say it.
molasses. Yeah, it's
I
not
knew
going to
you
be
wanted to say it.
smoking like we want to
Spoken to
be
the
looking at.
upside.
No, we're going to have to be very, very patient.
Yeah. I was talking about Dan the other day and saying all the stuff that he makes fun of me for saying he now has in his vocabulary.
I
Smoking to
think
the upside, moving like molasses, y'all.
I don't know if you watch some of the new videos that he was working on, and he says like you can see how the price is smoking to the upside. I
Yeah.
don't know if he realized that or not, or if it was on purpose, but he was saying that, and I
Yeah.
was
No,
like,
I
yeah,
I
he's
even said
Texan
something
now.
to him. I was like, I heard what you said in there. He's like, I can't help it
Yeah,
now.
he's a Texan now.
He's a Texan. So Dan's always giving you a hard time. He is, but that's what makes him like family now, because 'cause I'll allow it.
Dan Duff.
Dan Duff, yep. No longer Dan Pierce. He's Dan Duff. He's my other adopted son. We do call him Dan Duff. It was a little joke because they said, he stays here so long when he comes to visit. It's like, might as well adopt him, Lindsay. I'm like, well, we'll just call him Dan Duff from here on out. But guys, honestly, the market is, I don't
Moving
want to
like
say it, but
molasses.
yes, I'm like, I don't want to say it. It's moving so slow today that it may not even be in our best interest to stick around. It may be in our best interest to go spend oh my God, were his ears burning? Because you know who's
Yeah.
showing up into class right now?
I thought he was in a festival.
He must be in the YouTube.
Um, I
Hello,
was looking
Dan.
at. It's been like 2 hours since we've been in this area right here.
Yes.
So that's that's telling you something.
And Dan, we were legitimately just talking about you, Dan Duff, and you happened to show up. So hello and welcome to class. Um, I mean, guys, it's a really tough, like for me to even, I mean, I see reasons for taking a short trade. I see reasons for taking a long trade. Right here with it pushing to the downside right now and the BB
I
starting
think
to
you have
break
to
away.
click. You have to
Oh,
click that. There you go.
sorry, right here where the BB is leading lower and it's starting to push to the downside, my brain goes, okay, well, it's time to look for those short trades as this is starting to roll down, or maybe we're going to break through here. But there's some things that are keeping me out of that, like the reversal bar right here, the area right here. It does look as though it's going to have a much better opportunity to push to the downside, but we are really just stuck between these areas. It's just getting tighter and tighter, stuck between those areas. Gary Denona. Hello, Gary. Welcome to class. We are having a short class today. And like I said, next week you're going to have Davis running it. I mean, I will probably, because I know me, I'll probably be there. I'll probably be in the class. And so, um, I mean, like, taking a vacation, I still, when I go out of town, I still work. So, but I enjoy it. So that's a good thing. But you guys, is there any questions about anything y'all have seen today?
Probably something else you guys want to talk about trading, obviously.
Oh, you know what? Cesar, how would you feel about bringing up the haven't traded in 2 weeks, Tim, so you're a little rusty. Well, Tim, I think were you taking a vacation? Or you just been really busy with work? I was gonna say we really enjoy seeing your charts come in, and I was gonna see if you wanted to bring up the Discord and go through some of the charts, Cesar.
It's been very slow lately because
Because everybody's on
we
vacation. Okay.
yeah, we haven't had much of
Is Dennison
charts
still in here?
shared.
Dennison, how have you been doing? I've seen some of your trades coming through and they're looking really good. I'm very proud of you. I had a class with a student the other day that was struggling, but he hadn't sent in any of his trades. And it took one lesson and he was like, oh, light came on because he just, I mean, sometimes we all need a little bit of help, just determining what we're seeing that's just throwing us off a little bit. And a lot of that does come down to most people put their entire focus on the 233. And if you're doing that currently, it would be looking like you'd be looking to take a short trade. These little bars, the EMAs pushing to the downside, a little bit lower MACD happening right there. You may have fooled yourself into taking a short trade going to the downside right then. And it could still go down. We're inside of the Bollinger Bands here, but it's really just kind of still hit and miss right now. We have what looks like trying to push to the upside on the 10946. Looks like it's trying to push up here, but we're just stuck between areas. Yeah. Traded a few
Yeah,
meme coins, but that's a story for another day. I actually, good old Danny boy over here told me about that. And I had a nice little look at it. And so you've been enjoying yourself. Are you using the same kind of strategy from RDT for responsible day trading when you're looking at those kind of things? Or is that something different? Because I know I've looked at some stocks. I've looked at stocks and I've looked at also some of the Bitcoins and such. And you can use the same thing. You can use EMAs, you can use the MACDs in order to have an idea of what you're looking for. All right, so that would have pulled up, probably stopped you out, and then gone to the downside if you took the short there. Back here. After hours trading, work with the markets that we use. Absolutely, it does, Corey. The only thing is this is how fast you see it moving typically in after hours. Like this is fast. It didn't used to be that way. There was a time a few years ago that even after hours trading was moving really, really strong. Um, but not quite so much anymore. We have been talking. Do you know how the NQ does after hours, Cesar?
uh, probably like where we're looking at right now
Yeah.
on
I
the
think at that
ES. Yeah,
time we were trading the Russell, and the Russell moved really good after hours.
I mean,
So
it will be nice to be or to have a market that continuously is moving with enough volume to take trades and relatively quickly be out of the market.
yeah.
So mm,
So let me get my practice. Oh, here's the thing. So Corey says, he asked about trading after hours. He got offered a new position and couldn't turn it down for 4 months, so he won't be working from home during that time. Okay, here's the thing. You don't have to practice during the live market. With Ninja Trader, and we actually have some, I know that you're a new student, but in the Ninja Trader platform fundamentals, there is a section that talks about market replay. And we're going to actually be recycling, I guess,
uploading.
that
Yeah.
um, lesson for section 2 so that whenever people are getting to they're ready to simulate that they're going to have that part right there. But you can use market replay and you can simulate it just like you're trading it live. Now, one of the upsides to it is you can pause it, and you can speed it up or slow it down. And I really suggest that new traders, when they're learning, pausing it and saying, okay, what do I see here? What are the things that tell me that I am looking for this to, be a short trade or a long trade? And then the next step after that is not pausing it, right? So simulating those trades and letting it continue to run. And then you can work on your execution at that time. Because at first it's just recognizing the trades, then it's working on the execution. And then you can move to the live market that's moving. I would still stay in simulation. And that way you can click on the entries and exits without having the ability to pause it or speed it up or slow it down. And then you move, once you're comfortable with that, you move to your live account. I do suggest to new traders to start off with the e-micros, especially once you, because it's going to look exactly the same as this. There's not going to be anything different. You're going to be trading it just the same as you would the minis, but it's going to be a lot less pressure on the financial side because that is $5 a point, where this is $50 a point. So you can, once most people go live or even simulating, using that is fine. And then once you're feeling really comfortable and really confident, then moving over to the e-minis. I use 41, 81, 50, 97, 610, but the market's been very slow. But changing the chart, it's been difficult for me. What's your recommendation about that? Still to do 300 practice trades before going live. Do you agree with that? Okay. Oh, those are two different questions, two different people. So Dennison, when it's moving really, really slow, this is what I do. I actually even move over the 1597 and do a 610 233 combo. And honestly, it does not matter the, what, I mean, it does matter what the numbers are because you want them in a certain order. But at the same time, your middle chart will always be your trading chart and you're paying attention to what's going on over here. Now, down below, I have another screen down here. I've got my 10946, my 4181, 28657, and my daily chart there. But if I'm using these to trade with, I'm only glancing at those to get an idea of what the overall move is still doing. And then if it's starting to really pick up the pace, then you may move to the 4181, 610, 230, or I'm sorry, what was it? 4181, 1597, 610 combo. I think you got the mouse. Did you need the mouse, Cesar?
No, sorry, I'm trying to
Oh,
move
okay.
the Zoom
Okay.
screen.
So that is some options that, those are some options that you can have. So you'll have a little bit lower risk opportunity because you can really pull it in a little bit tighter. But you'll see you've got the large EMA represented here, the small represented here, and then the large and the small. So it's really just kind of shrinking in the charts to just kind of take those quicker profits that are happening in a slower moving market, right? Does that help you out, Dennison? And on Dennison, we actually are going to have part two out hopefully by the end of either this week or next week. And on the English side, we're going to have that out. The Spanish side's going to take just a little bit longer because they've got to recreate those on the Spanish side. But it's going to have a lot of new information too. And we're going to talk about moving these charts between them. We're also going to be talking about the 2 point risk instead of the point and a quarter. And we're going to be talking about how to manage your risk through trades. So there's a lot of new information in there that wasn't, it's not that it wasn't in there before, but they were like 30, 45-minute videos, which can get a little bit boring at times. And I hadn't updated them since 2019. So we now, NinjaTrader's in NinjaTrader 8. So it was 7 back then. So it was time to update everything. And also since COVID, really, the length of these bars and the way that we're looking at the market has had to shift just a little bit because it was moving a lot faster. The bars were, we didn't have quite as many reversal bars in a row. So we have to really pay attention to what the more important things are then. And so we're really honing in on that and talking about that in those new classes that are going to be out there. And Corey, so as for you, said I was told to do 300 practice trades before going live. Do you agree with that? I actually don't agree with that. I think there's going to be a lot more than 300, especially, with what we're doing here. You're going to want, I mean, heck, it may be 300, but I would say it's probably going to end up being a lot more before you're going live because it's not about the amount of practice trades that you've taken. It's the amount you've allowed yourself to learn off the practice trades that you've taken. So you could do 300 practice trades and they could just be, for a better lack of word, junk. Right. Yeah. So at least 300. But, you're in a position where you're going to be sending those trades into us each week. So we're going to be honing in on what your strengths and weaknesses are and how we can get you more refined so that you don't have to go, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trades in before you're feeling confident and
Yeah,
comfortable.
right. That
But
the idea is to uh be showing you what you're doing right and
yes,
what you're doing wrong.
yes,
So as soon as we can correct those mistakes because we are all having mistakes when we're starting on this, and it's normal and it's
yes,
natural and it's expected. So there's not an exact number like Lindsay was saying,
yeah,
but uh, the faster we are discovering what you are doing wrong, the
yeah,
faster we can correct that and you can move forward uh, quicker. And so we can move to simulation um, quicker and then jump to live market. But we are never going to pressure to move to live market until you're feeling ready.
Yeah, if anything, we may ask you to hold off a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
right.
one thing that you'll also have to do coming into this is, see different market environments. If you've been just trading for a couple of weeks and the environment's been very calm and collected and consistent, and then it switches, you're going to go like, oh, I don't know what to do in this situation. And you're going to make it make something about you and that most people are like, oh, I'm this horrible trader. And it's like, no, you just weren't prepared for that environment.
Right.
So, our job is to work with you throughout the time to have you see different market environments. And you'll be doing market replays and things like that in the beginning too. But to have different market environments so that we can see what your trading style is and we can build off of what you're doing better with and we can help you understand where things are off. I've said it once before, and I'll say it a million times. Our job is not to teach you to trade like me or Cesar or Dan or Tim or whoever. It's to teach you to trade like you, so you feel
Mhm.
comfortable and you can make decisions that you're comfortable taking. And not
Yeah,
everyone's going to work.
that's something that I've seen with the students that I've been doing the reviews.
Yeah.
They're not trading the same thing. They
No.
are they have different style. But like we said last week, uh, all their trades are coming from common ground, which is the RDT style, the working with the EMAs, with the MACDs, the price, how are we looking at the charts. So one student is probably taking breakouts and the other one is uh, doing the opposite, like using the areas for support and resistance and shifting to the different direction. So they too are trading completely opposite styles, but they both are working under the same uh,
Concepts.
parameters,
Yeah.
yeah, that the RDT is teaching.
Yeah.
So like you said, we want to teach you to discover how which one is your trading style and to
Yeah.
take advantage of that and to explode it and make it grow.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, to me, there's no better satisfaction than, someone who sent in their trades a little frustrated, and then the next week that light just turns on for them because it was a lot of times it's, they're seeing the right direction, they're seeing the right things. It's just an execution thing. Most of the time it's paying attention to the 233 over the other charts and not really reading what's happening there. And we have these tick counters for a reason because we want to see where this close is going to land on the bar. And whenever we have, five, 600, 1,000 left in a 1597, we're not getting a good idea. So they may be just jumping the gun a little bit and things like that. And everybody has their own little style of showing it to us too. Like some people get a little scared and because they don't want people to see them taking trades that don't work. But, as someone who we know is new to trading, we expect mistakes in the beginning. And that because that's the best way for them to learn. And thank you, Corey. Corey says that's something he really likes about RDT, and Tim agrees. And we appreciate that because,
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you got coming through, Corey, and seeing how we can help you grow because it's been really great to be able to see people move through it and do well. And also, some of it is just about being patient and not taking trades. I do have one student who has a very short period of time he can trade. He spends about 15 minutes with the market in the morning. Our first rounds of trades, he was having 8, 10 trades in there. And I'm like, and he said, you know what? I'm just going to try and take as many as I can. And I said, that's not the way to do it. I said, it's more
Hmm.
about being patient and taking that one. And after a few weeks, he started becoming patient and taking that one. And he's usually done within 8 minutes. We went through, he's making about 30 points a week with the 8 minutes. And done for the week, back onto his work. And so it's pretty awesome to see. So I'll see if he'll let me share some of that soon. We'll go through that. We'll talk about that a little bit together whenever he's ready. But guys, it is 2 o'clock. There's about an hour maybe of movement left in this market. It does look like it's really attempting to push down. It's trying to break through this band. It's pulled up to here. It's pulling down, but we still don't have strength here just yet. Hmm. Well, there we go.
There you go.
Trying to pick up that
You called
pace.
it.
It's trying. It doesn't look like it's going too far just yet because, we still have a couple of ticks left in this and we see it starting to push down, but we really need that BB to start to break away from that bottom Bollinger Band. Otherwise, it can pop back up. I do see it
Yeah,
starting to break away here. So it really looks like it's trying to, but guess what's happening? It's starting to make a little bit of distance to pull back in here, but nope. I see it starting to pick up. We got to get past this area. What will typically happen is you get past it, and then you pull back into it, right? Not that you have to get past the area to take anything at that point, but the only other part was pulling in right here, didn't cross to the top, cross to the bottom. Still in a same little bit of a predicament right into this area. And, with it moving super slow, we could make up things all day about what we wanted to do, but it's just not moving in enough space to really give us anything. So BB was trying. So look, so we've got 616 left. Now it's starting to try and turn purple or blue and move up. And this is what I also really love about the live MACD dot. To me, it's that the only thing that is actually moves with the price and is the most up to date, because you're going to see these live MACD dots moving as this is moving. Once this gets to 0, the dot stops moving too, and the next one starts plotting with that price bar. So you can start to see the strength and momentum of the moves that are happening with the close and where that dot lands before it moves. Oh, there's that little bit of a pullback, and it looks like it's trying so hard to push through there. It's really, really trying to push through that area. Not quite there yet, though. All right, guys. Anybody got any questions, comments? Stories they'd like to tell? I don't know. Yeah, I didn't even think about today being so slow until about last night. I didn't realize it was going to be a pretty slow day. No, but thank you for another great. Oh, thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. It says thank you
Thank
for
you,
another great
Tim.
class. It's fun teaching with somebody too, with like Cesar and Dan and Davis and Jason and everybody like being around and son. So maybe you'll be with us teaching one day too, Tim. I don't know. I don't know if that's your bag, but we'll see. All right. So if there's no questions, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. That's right. Don't know until it happens. Of course, it's still going through the course and doing the homework, but enjoying the knowledge. Corey, do you have it with the coaching that you're going? Because if you're doing the homework and you do have the coaching, you will want to send those in before you like start getting to the next one, just so we can make sure, because it's in the beginning, it's very basic information, like, what are Head and Shoulders, things like that. What are these EMAs? What are the MACDs? But as time goes by, some of these lessons will really build off of each other, and you don't want to really move to the next lesson until you're sure you've got a full understanding of the first one. So if you do have the coaching, make sure you're sending that into support@responsibledaytrading.com. Okay. Well, we will talk about what we can do, because we'll talk about what we can do, because I think you do have homework involved in included in that in the first part of the course. So we will I'll take a look at it and get back with you. But if anything, if you do have questions, Corey, do not hesitate to send them in. Okay. You don't have to turn it in. Gotcha. Just helps. I just find that it helps to just get an understanding of it. I mean, if you've already been involved in trading for a while, of course, you'll understand things like Head and Shoulders or trends to the upside, trends to the downside. But that's really for very, very new people. But at the same time, there may be some little pieces of information that you pick up that, one of us might see a little bit differently, might just give you a different point of view. So just make sure you're paying attention to them, even if you understand the lesson, just at least go through it and go through the PDF with it. So, all right, sounds wonderful. Okay, guys, so next week, Davis will be next 2 weeks. Davis is taking over, like I said. He's going to do the next one in English and the one after that. No, wait, the next one's in Spanish, right? Let's look really quick. Let's take one more peek at that.
Let me check.
Okay, so yeah, the 8th is in English, the 15th is in Spanish. So Davis will be taking care of that. I think we need to change the Eventbrite link over here, but let me just bring it up really quick so you guys can see. Where is it? For some reason it has me in an Eventbrite in Kansas. Why am I looking in Kansas? Let's get to it. There it is. Okay. Sorry.
Hopefully,
So
the
it
next two
is,
weeks.
yeah, it's two
Uh,
weeks. So you can buy a ticket or you can get a ticket for free, but it's just really to help us understand how many people are coming. It is in kilometers for some reason.
yeah, you're joining the rest of the world.
So it's at Wakefield Crowbar, which is going to be in the Heights on the north side. And if you, Tim, can let us know where you're staying so we can go through things together. Guys, this was the last meet and greet. So you can see, well, there wasn't just four of us there at that time, but that was our very first one. And this was part of the second one. So here was our second one with most of the people that showed up. And then we had our third one, which was here, which was really, I don't even know. Oh, okay. She's got a video going there. So I'm just hoping it grows just like, each time getting bigger and bigger, and I'll be super awesome. So hope you guys are there. And like I said, we're probably going to be doing like a raffle this time. I have a friend who has a business in the area and she wanted to come by and do a giveaway. Uh, oh, okay. That's cool, Tim. Um, Let me talk to Ange and get back to you because she is really like the guide when it comes to that kind of stuff. So let me talk to her and get back to you on that. But all right, guys, if you got any questions, please reach out to us at support at Responsible Day Trading or info at Responsible Day Trading if you're curious about the courses or if you're curious about becoming a student here. So, just make sure that you're reaching out. We're happy to help. So, everybody have a great 4th of July week. And thank you, Corey. No problem. Like I said, reach out to us if you got any questions. And hope everybody has a great week. So, guess that's it.
Thank you,
Adios.
everyone. Thanks,
All right.
Lindsay. Have a great week.
You too, Cesar. All right. Oh, hold on. We got some chats. Okay. Bye, Davis. Bye, Tim. All right. See y'all later. And ciao, Dennison. Keep taking my mouse.